Yeah, what's good, y'all? Good morning. It's your boy ARP, and we back with the Sorry Is True podcast. Of course, first and foremost, big salute and shout out to all the channel members. Shout out to the members. Shout out to the checks and balances gang and the whole chat. I appreciate y'all. I see some of y'all already coming into the chat saying, "Did K Dot drop another?" No, I'm not here to do a reaction to another drop. I don't know if another drop happened. I'm here to talk about some other topics, and I'm here to share something with y'all and break down something with y'all that relates directly to the title. I'm gonna bring it up here on the screen in a second. But if while I'm here on the fucking stream, checks and balances lets me know that a song dropped, we'll switch to that. It's like with these two guys, you just don't know. And I also am of the opinion that is far from over. We're gonna hear more from these two guys. I don't know if it's gonna be on top of each other, back to back, days apart from each other and whatnot, like it's been lately. But if for nothing else, you're gonna get the shots and the subliminals embedded within their songs because I really think that there's no coming back from this type of beef. Even though I have a follow-up live, I got like three lives still related to this topic in my mind that I want to talk about. I want to talk about the aftermath as well, right? But I'm gonna do that in a separate live. But all right. Before we get into the full title and I bring something up on the screen that I want to talk about and I want to play with y'all and share with y'all and react to, um, let's first give a big shout out, right? And these guys don't need it directly from me. Who the fuck am I? But I still want to show my appreciation. I want the chat to see this as well, and y'all should carry the same sentiment because at the end of the day, we're all here for hip hop, right? When we get caught up in the tea and caught up in the drama and caught up in the accusations and all the dirt and the mud that gets thrown and all that, those two guys are suffering for multiple different reasons. Relationships can be affected, friendships can be affected, business partnerships and business opportunities can be affected, album rollouts could be affected. That's like what Pusha T did to Drake with his Adidas rollout, right? They're going through all different types of stuff, but they're going to rebound just fine. Once again, like I said, I got a whole different live I want to do about the aftermath, but at least right here in the moment when it still feels that the fire is still flaring, I do want us to all still say shout out to Drake and Kendrick. Hip hop so needs this. And look at the inspiration. We've seen it reach to the real, epitome that's still carrying battle rap, right? The battle rap arena, right? So you see people get inspired. I see the RBE Bricks creating diss songs towards other leagues and platforms and cooking up some of their rivalries, right? You see Hitman hollering Easy to Block Captain. We might end up getting Easy to Block Captain versus Cassidy, and Cassidy already dropped. You see Quavo and Chris Brown. Like all of this, people get inspired, the motivation, and we don't want the biggest shit of 2024 to be Cat Williams' interview, even though it was a very compelling and interesting interview, or the Diddy scandals or Diddy accusations, right? If that's the biggest shit of 2024, then we're in bad shape. It's like, all right, what was the biggest shit by the time Uncle Murder or Mad Skills does their year-end wrap up? Biggest shit, the accusations about Diddy. Hooray, bullshit, drama, whatever, fucked up foul shit, whether he is guilty or not. Hooray. No. Kendrick Lamar versus Drake, the rap battle. Biggest rap battle in hip hop history. The scale, the two artists involved, the peak of their careers that they're at, the amount of fan bases that they have, the heightened nature of the internet and social media, the heightened level of all these reaction channels and different platforms, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. This is all making it massive. Like maybe Pac and Big would have been this massive if it was happening in 2024, right? But even the amount of songs that they've given us, man, Drake and Kendrick, man, we cannot lose sight of that because these two checks and balances time. Checks and balances on me, checks and balances on y'all. We can't lose sight and let these motherfuckers divide us, okay? We can't let Kendrick and Drake make us all start shooting at each other and say, oh, well, you a Drake fan? Fuck you there. Oh, you a Kendrick fan? Oh, that's bullshit. It wasn't proved. Oh, yo, Drake fans finally get the twerk. And it's cool. If you happen to already not like Drake before this, then do what you do. If you happen to already not like Kendrick before this happened, do what you do. But if you didn't have no real problems with Drake music and you was just playing his last album or hit singles that he dropped over the last couple years and you was just fucking with Kendrick and all that before this shit, don't let these two guys make you turn and look at the other person and hate them unless some wild shit comes out that makes you look at them a different way. And that's to be continued, okay? All that meet the grams and the shit that Drake is saying, all that's to be continued, all right? But let's checks and balance ourselves. Don't let these motherfuckers divide us as people. The country doesn't have to be red and blue. And I'm not talking about just Crip and blood, right? I'm talking about like left and right and fucking factions and whatnot and Democrats and Republicans or Drake versus Kendrick. It doesn't have to be that. Drake ain't even from fucking America. So let's fucking calm down, people. All right, let's enjoy the battle. Let's enjoy the fucking battle. Calm down, people. Come back down to earth. You're not inside these motherfuckers' cliques. You're not inside these niggas' gangs. You don't know these motherfuckers personally. Chill the fuck out. All right? Shit. Okay, so shout out to these two guys, man. They have done something amazing and they have given us something historic. Historic. Okay. I think this isn't and I'm not the first person to talk about this, but I do want to say it here on this channel as well. Um Kendrick deserves also a separate shout out. Okay. Him and his team or his handlers or the people that's running his content ID and his copyrights across YouTube and other platforms, it's true. They are releasing the claims for people that have been playing his music. That is incredible. In fucking credible. Stay with me, y'all. Two power moves come out of that. Two. The first power move that comes out of that is it creates favor. Sorry, it's true. You see how Drake played like the academics clip in his first drop and give me 50 and all that. And you see how he already knows academics is a huge fan of him. And I'm not trying to say that academics isn't a genuine person, but because he's already admit to his bias. So that makes him credible to me. If you're gonna tell me that I'm saying certain things because I have a certain preordained feeling, then I can trust you. So shout out to academics on that. He's already been forthcoming with that, right? But still, he is one of the hubs, the central pivotal points of coverage for this. And if you're smart on a marketing team, as a brand, as an artist, you understand that it's not just this one person's voice. Like, for example, like let's say my little small ARP 5, 10, 15, 20,000 views can turn into 60 or 70 or 100 because some people can be influenced by me. They take it out, they have conversations. It's the web effect. And that's a double meaning within itself. The internet, as the internet, the web being undefeated, right? And the web effect of this person is connected to this person is connected to this person, so forth and so on, right? The spider sits up in the corner and you could touch the web all the way down here and it ripples up and lets him know what's going on. The concepts all linked together. You got to understand how this shit really moves. So you have to create favor. It's okay to create bias. I've seen it happen a million times in battle rap, right? There's a reason why certain league owners and leagues, they'll keep certain ties to certain bloggers and medias, give them a stage pass, fly them out, give them certain information, give them exclusive interviews, give them behind the scenes information. You know, you keep favor and you try to even at times create a bias. Sometimes that's just the chessboard that you're on. Sometimes it's genuine. Don't get it twisted. There's bloggers that I talk to right now, and I'm not even selling a product anymore. That means that I talk to them in a genuine nature, right? But I do understand the other side of it, the business side of it, of creating favor. Drake texting back and forth with academics creates favor. It creates favor. But once again, at least academics admits to his bias. So he becomes credible just by saying that and admitting that. I got to give him his points on that. But Kendrick creates favor with people by removing copyrights. 2-3 years from now, that the little small bloggers of the world and reactors of the world, like me, right? A lot of people still are getting used to me getting back into blogger or reactor mode because you guys for so many years have been so used to me only being in league owner mode. You guys even forgot my origins as a blogger. You know what I'm saying? But as the small me's of the world, I'll be humble, continue to grow in those areas. Right now, imagine 2 years prior, I was playing Kendrick Lamar's music. during the biggest rap battle in battle history. And Kendrick Lamar and Drake got me the biggest views and the most subscribers off of pieces of content, but as my channel was starting, right? And then I reach out to their camp or I dispute and they release my claims and they let me get paid off of it and they clear my content. And then 2 years from now, I'm reviewing Kendrick Lamar's album. There's favor there. It's human nature. It's human nature to have favor in people that have done things for you. And I'm not, once again, even saying that it's not genuine coming from his camp. It might be genuine because I'm going to get into point power move number 2. It might be genuine, but it still creates favor with these hundreds or thousands of channels that's in the web effect of reacting to this content, either now or later. You create favor. That is such a power move if you really understand the ripple effect of the internet and how much sprawl can come from these different pockets of voices. I'm on the phone yesterday with Hollow. I'm walking around doing errands and I stop and I have some food that I ordered at a spot. And while I'm on the phone with him debating, we've been debating this shit every fucking day, Drake and Kendrick. While I'm on the phone with him talking, I go up to the counter, I'm paying at the same time, trying to multitask, and I say Drake in my conversation. And then the cash register goes, nah, Drake fucked up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not even a part of my conversation. I'm just going in to get food, and it's massive. And you got to understand the web effect of that. If that person happened to listen to a blog or two and got influenced by a certain opinion that they heard or a certain type of good review, it's no different when you go all the way back in the day why artists and rappers used to get pissed off if the source didn't give them 4 or 5 mics. It's no different because of the influence factor. And the influence factor sprawls. People got to even respect the small voices because that person that does 10 views could affect 20 people. And those 20 could, it's the old solo shit. Like, one nigga bring 2 niggas, 2 niggas bring 4 niggas, 4 niggas bring 8 niggas, 8 niggas bring more niggas. Pay attention, right? That's powerful, the web effect. The second thing that it does beyond creating favor for now and time to come, the second thing that it does is it shines a huge light of the power of the reactors, the bloggers, and the media. We already know the bloggers and the media are powerful. You're going to have certain record labels and certain companies and certain brands and certain artists pay heavy attention to TMZ or academics or let's say DJ Vlad or you know what I'm saying, or the Joe Button podcast or Drink Champs or Gilly and Wallow's joint $1 million worth of game, and so forth and so on. They're going to pay attention to these big platforms, going to feel like those are the people that could help me or damage me the most. But the smaller guys, right? The smaller channels underneath them, the people that you may not have even heard of, even people that might be doing hundreds of thousands of views or even millions of views that you never even heard of. Those guys are influential to the people that click their videos. Those people are influential to them. You see what I'm saying? And you have to realize the power of those people. This is one of the first times we've ever seen Drake lose the numbers game. You don't think that Kendrick's camp, Kendrick Lamar, his handlers, his management team, his promotion team are looking at the fact that we're allowing people to play our music and that within itself could have aided and pushed my views that much further? When you're sitting there and you're watching academics and he's about to react to Family Matters from Drake or whenever Kendrick dropped 2 times in a row. You're sitting there and you're watching academics, and he's like, wait, hold on. What? Are y'all trolling me in my chat? Kendrick dropped again? What? Come on, bro. No, what the? Everybody that's watching him at that point, they turn away from Drake too. They go from, all right, hold on, we in Drake mode. Wait, what? What's academics tell me right here, live on the spot? Kendrick drop, boom. And then everybody goes to Kendrick. So anybody at that moment, and including the web effect of that, stay with me, you add views to Kendrick's side. There's a reason why Kendrick's video that dropped the hour after passed Drake's, even though Drake is the bigger rapper, that has the bigger fan base, right? Pay attention. And Kendrick is learning people that right now. He's learning people that. Don't forget the smaller people. Don't just fucking try to keep favor with Joe Button podcast and academics and TMZ and Club Shay Shay and all that. No, all these other channels too. They add the fuck up. They add up to billions of views, literally. They add up to billions of favor, literally, billions of influence, literally, billions of opinions, billions of narratives being steered. So Kendrick doing that and showing his peers, other record labels, other marketing companies, other artists that these channels fucking matter. These small reactors and bloggers and media outlets, they fucking matter. And I'm gonna show them some respect and I'm gonna show them some appreciation because them views is a part of this war. It's big shit going on. Sorry, it's true. Let me bring this video up, y'all. Was that a mini rant? My bad if it was. We be talking over here. Shout out to Checks and Balances, man. We got substance over here. Tell a friend to subscribe. How long been here? Damn, that's only 15 minutes. We got substance over here. We're gonna play the music. We're gonna have fun. I got another live I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play every song in from the battle. We're gonna have fun too. But we're gonna have our substance moments. Y'all know the difference between y'all know me by now. Y'all know the difference between when I'm dead fucking serious, when I'm laid back, when I'm frustrated, when I'm mad. Y'all know the difference. You know what I'm saying? But we gotta have our moments of substance. You know what I'm saying? We gotta be a little bit more than just, you know what I'm saying? We gotta have our moments, y'all. Okay. Let me bring this video up. This is a wild video. This is a very, very wild video, y'all. And I don't know how many of y'all have watched it, but I think it's well worth a breakdown and a reaction because this is a very intelligent guy and his opinions, I'll say opinions, are very strong and they're very logical and they make a lot of sense. And we're going to stop in the middle of some of this stuff. I don't know how many people have seen this video. He's got 182,000 views on this particular video. Professor Sky's record review. Okay, that's his channel. Now, if you see in the description of my video, I gave credits to his joint. The link to this video that we're gonna play and we're gonna pause and talk about. And I also want to make sure that we go to his channel and check out the rest of his content as well. This is how you get turned on to somebody as a channel, not just as a one moment and then I'm gone. If you come across somebody's content and they sound smart or they entertain you in any way, then you want to see what else they got going on. And for that reason, I want to give a shout out to Dude. Never seen any of his stuff before, but put his link in the description. Let's check out the rest of his channel. Now, another thing that I did real quick is I'm not saying that before we play this video because it's going to sound like he's leaning a certain way. Even the title to his video is The 3 Failures of Drake. And he put this out after the Heart Part 6 dropped. Okay. And he's doing an analysis, not a reaction, an analysis to the Heart Part 6 song that Drake dropped. Okay. Before I played this for myself and before I play it for y'all, I want y'all to know that I went and pulled up his Instagram. I'm not saying that I ran a Equifax, TransUnion, Experian credit check on the guy, but I wanted to go to his channel, being that his title was like The 3 Failures, and see like, okay, does he happen to be from California? Nope. Is he from Canada, Toronto? Nope. Let me look down his Instagram and see if I see that he's a Drake hater. Nope. He's a French professor that is into music. And then I look for a Drake related post and I find on April 20th, he has a cool picture of Drake as Batman fighting a bunch of people. And he has him uppercutting Kendrick Lamar, almost like knocking him out on some Mortal Kombat shit, right? Back on April 20th, Drake versus everybody and Kendrick being one of the people that was knocked out. I assume that April 20th possibly was when, Drop and Give Me 50 came out. Because that's when everybody was teamed. That's when we was all like, oh, Drake got him. And then by the time that Drake came out with Tailor Made and Drake was bullying Kendrick in that song, I replayed it again today. I was like, Drake, by the time Drake got the TaylorMade, he was bullying Kendrick. How are you not in the studio right now? Where are you? You better come up with some quipple five time triple entendre, some shit that I don't understand. Where are you? Where are you? Let's go. We don't want to wait until Taylor Swift gives you the green light or your album to drop. He was bullying and begging Kendrick. And this is the type of vibe that I get from this guy, just to make sure that he's not a Drake hater before I play this video for y'all, okay? So I think some of that backdrop matters. Let's get to it.
I'm done justifying these videos about the Drake and Kendrick beef. It's the biggest thing happening in popular culture, in rap culture, in music culture. And for whatever reason, many people like seeing what I have to say about it. If you're not one of those people, if you think I could not possibly be qualified to talk about this, respect to you. There's so many great places to check out commentary. I watched Dead End Hip Hop. They had a pretty good review of this song. Go watch their stuff instead. No harm on me. There are clicks to go around. There's so many clicks to go around. But I'm going to try to add something I try to add something new. And the way I'm going to do that is by describing the way that Drake succeeded with this song, The Hard Part 6.
Succeeded.
The one way, the 1 point. He got 1 point. In my opinion, one touch. The title. Calling it The Hard Part 6 when Kendrick is most certainly planning on releasing a song called The Hard Part 6 in his The Heart series, preceding the release of each of his albums. He took that.
I'm going to tell y'all right now, this video gets very, very deep. I'm going to tell y'all right now, the angles, the revelations, the opinions, the way that he puts things together. He's going to get into a whole segment about gaslighting. Oh, this video gets deep, y'all. Let's do it.
That. Good job. He did it. But then in every other metric, I think he completely failed, and I'm going to explain why. The issue is, I think, though, the way that we talk about this is framed wrong. Because the question is, who is going to win this battle? Kendrick is going to win this battle. But who is going to win the war for the soul of hip-hop? I think Drake is still going to win. I don't think it matters that Drake can't win this battle. I don't. What Kendrick is trying to do is commit a Drakeotomy. Remember in Half-Baked, Dave Chappelle, I need a Backiotomy. Like he's trying to do a Drakeotomy. He's trying to take Drake out of the whole picture, separate him from his fans, family, collaborators, all that stuff. But I don't think it's going to work. As I said in the previous video, Drake is a Trumpian-like figure. We are just fanning his flames. He is just getting more attention. And I could be wrong. Timestamp this 2 minutes and 3 seconds in this video. I'm telling you, I'm giving you the guarantee, no matter how hard Drake loses this battle, and I think he's going to lose it super hard, he will have a #1 album within the next year. He just will. He's just that big. He's just that popular. He's just this good at being
I agree.
Popular.
They're both going to win.
All that being said, he's still going to lose this battle, which is the thing that we're thinking about. And he's going to lose it in multiple ways. These are the three. I'm going so goddamn internet on you. I'm giving you a list of 3 reasons that Drake completely failed with this song, The Hard Part 6. And I mean completely failed. The first one is simple. It's all defense,
real
no
interesting.
attack. Okay. He's just sitting in a low block, hoping to weather the storm, hoping 90 minutes go by and no one's able to score a goal on him. It's not even a song. I mean, the beat's fine. It's like maybe the 7th best beat in this whole beef.
I agree with that.
It's kind of weak. It's kind of repetitive. It starts off with that Aretha Franklin sample of, show me the proof, but then it doesn't come back. Basically, it's just, it's like a voice note with like some generic beat put in behind it. And the whole thing is just served for him to be delivering. Essentially, when I listened to this for the first time, I just pictured, you remember the presidential debates when they used to do those between Clinton and Trump, and Clinton would just say something true and then Trump would just go wrong the whole time. I just feel like this is just Drake listening on his headphones to Meet the Grams and just being like wrong. And that's the problem, is that he's totally on the defense. But the way that he's a defense is actually a little more, perhaps, I'm going to use the P word, problematic. I'm pushing P. I'm pushing the word problematic. I think he's gaslighting. Now, listen, I don't know the truth. I don't know the truth of the accusations against Drake.
Pay attention, y'all. I've said before, I'm a more Drake fan than I am a Kendrick fan musically over these years. The points this guy is about to make, and this is why I love Sorry It's True. I love Rare Breed. I love checks and balances as what they symbolize. Remaining objective, remaining objective, remaining grounded. And when you lose that, the ability to at least bring yourself back in. We got to be open minded to a lot of shit that comes out from both sides. This might look like, oh, just some professor, whatever. Who is he to break shit down or whatever? Listen to this man. Some intelligent shit that's about to be.
But if I were just observing this, and this were not such a charged thing as being a, what did you tell me to call it? A PDF file downloader? Is that what you told me to call it? YouTubers, YouTube commenters, whatever it is. Somebody who takes advantage of minors for sexual gratification. Okay, I'll just say that. If we just imagine that it's like, who put the milk back in the fridge with only one sip left, right? Like whatever it is, if you're just analyzing this defense, he comes across as an abuser who is gaslighting. Now, if you don't know gaslighting, that's when somebody in an intimate relationship tries to make you question reality. There's many different ways of doing it. I suggest you watch any number of YouTube videos about it. They're quite interesting. I have a friend who was in a very abusive relationship and suffered a lot of gaslighting, and I learned a lot from that friend. And I can tell you, it's very, very, very disruptive. It's very hurtful. It's an amazingly great thing that our society has that term, because when my friend was going through that, that term didn't exist. So it was just like, what the hell is happening to me, said my friend. Like, what the hell's going on? I swear to God, 2 + 2 = 4, but they're telling me 2 + 2 = 5. And I'm going to give you some more examples here. And what ends up happening is, if you are a pop psychologist like me, not a real psychologist, but a pop psychologist, you know that gaslighters often have narcissistic personality disorders. And I'd like to read to you the Narcissist Prayer. This is an amazing thing that was made a while ago to help you understand the mind of a narcissist and how it ties into gaslighting. That didn't happen. And if it did, it wasn't that bad. And if it was, that's not a big deal. And if it is, that's not my fault. And if it was, I didn't mean it. And if I did, you deserved it. We're at the beginning here. That didn't happen. And the way that Drake is doing it, it's creating cognitive dissonance. Like, he didn't succeed. There are things that don't add up and don't make sense. I remember when my friend told me a story about finding some texts on his partner's phone about meeting up with a potential lover in New York City. And when that friend confronted their partner, their abusive partner, the partner was like, no, that didn't happen. It's like, it's right here. Well, you shouldn't be looking at that. Well, I am looking at that, but it's right here. Yeah, no, that didn't happen. They went to couples therapy and they discussed it in couples therapy. And it was, that didn't happen, to the point where my friend actually doesn't remember whether or not they actually saw the thing that they actually saw. That's how gaslighting works. That didn't happen. If it did, it wasn't that bad. Okay. You try to change it. You try to change the topic. Okay. The whole beginning of this, the first time I heard it, I was like, oh, damn, Drake got him. Drake got him because he's saying that there was a fake mole in his camp feeding fake information to Kendrick. Wow. And there is no 11-year-old daughter. Wow. And then I thought about it. First of all, let's say this is true. That's like saying, I peed in my pants, and everyone knows that I peed in my pants, but I told you that I peed and pooed in my pants, and you said that I pooed in my pants? Sucker. I didn't poo in my pants. I just peed in my pants. I just have one child who I probably never would have claimed if it wasn't for Pusha T. I am just a deadbeat dad with one person. Nah. But even that, it's so wild because he undercuts this claim. He says that he fed him the information and then later said that his informant is a clown. So which is it? Does he have a fake informant, or does he have an informant who is real but not reliable? This is the cognitive dissonance of a gaslighter. This is what he's trying to create, to the point where you go, oh, the person I heard that from is both on your side, and also, if he's not on your side, then he's not reliable. It doesn't make any cohesive sense. The other thing that
Now, y'all know I love listens like this. Y'all know me. Y'all are the ones that could get at me for 12, 13 years or some more like, yo, ARP, like you spent 20 minutes to make a fucking point. You damn right. Introspective thinkers and even good chess players, the way that they talk and formulate opinions and thoughts, their thoughts are lined up in front of them as they're back here still talking. So as we talk and as we think, there's all these different points that come into our mind to formulate the one thing that we're fucking saying. That's when examples start getting drawn in, past examples get drawn in, future thoughts come in, tie-ins come in. That's how these type of brains move. That's how they react. That's why sometimes when I speak, it's like, yo, you brought in all this other stuff. And I understand the point at the end, and I feel like you could have made it earlier. But that's just the way that the chess players of the world operate. That's really how some of these professors operate. So you know this was interesting for a nigga like me, because I can sit there and still let me get all the tie-ins first as you formulate the main point that I'm still gonna understand later on. But the tie-ins, this is some interesting shit, y'all. Let's continue.
people who are gaslighting you will do is they will distract and divert constantly, constantly, constantly. Going back to that example of my friend, hey, you shouldn't be looking at my messages. Okay, fine, but I did look at your messages. This is outrageous. How dare you do that? This is the most outrageous thing you could ever do to me. I don't think I can ever forgive you for looking at my messages. Okay? Distraction, distraction, distraction. The problem is that Drake doesn't understand the weakness of his attack. His attack is that Whitney is not in love with him. Oh, it's coming back. I made a video a couple videos ago about the fact this whole beef is just an addendum to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. This whole beef is unintentionally advertisements for this album. This whole beef is a poppy, fun way of mediating all of the themes in this very dense and unfun album. Okay? He says in this album that Whitney is going to leave him. He says in this album that he has mistreated her and that he's cheated on her. He has implied that he has abused her, I believe, physically in addition to emotionally. He doesn't deny anything. Kendrick, in his responses, never denies, never says, I didn't hit Whitney. Do you know why he doesn't say it? Because A, either he did and he doesn't need to say, either he did and they've worked through it, and that's this whole album is about being a better man and breaking out of the cycles of abuse in the first place, or he didn't do it, and if you didn't do it, you don't need to say it. You don't need to say I didn't do it. Go ahead, ask me. You ever hit your wife? I'll be like, no. And then you're like, yes, you did. I won't even respond to you. I won't even be like, well, actually,
That's not the point. You got to keep up, Brandon. That's not the point. He's not trying to justify Kendrick's actions that Kendrick alluded to on himself within Mr. Morale. What he's trying to say is what Drake is using as new information to a lot of people and painting it as a wrong. Think about the pulling of the bullets factor, right? I think the easiest example of this when it comes to battle rap is Eminem 8 Mile. That final round, he kills himself. He tells you everything about himself, the good, the bad, the ugly. Yeah, this did happen to my girl. Blah, blah, blah. Did happen to my mom. Blah, blah. I do live like this. I am broke. I am this. I am that. Blah, blah, blah. Now tell these motherfuckers something that they don't know about me. Who won the battle then? That's not the point, Brandon. See what I'm saying? That's not the point.
I won't be like, show receipts. Like, it's just so far. Now, if you ask me, like, hey, if you ever yelled at your dog Bo when you shouldn't have, I'll be like, well, I mean, when should have, I haven't always been the best dog owner. Anyways, I'm getting off track here. So he's doubling down on these attacks on Kendrick for things that Kendrick has not actually refuted. So that whole line, the second line that really hits is the last line before he gets into his Who God's ending, where he says, Whitney, I'll hit you back, and but it'll be a lot safer or whatever it is. I mean, like that's like a good line, but like it's like it's all on here. It's all on here. The whole story. Whatever you are going to say about Kendrick Lamar, he's already said about himself. And it's tied into just this whole weirdness of like, why is she following Dave Free on Instagram? Listen, she's an adult. Is my wife on Instagram? I don't know. I legitimately don't know. I don't think so. If she is she following my Instagram? I hope not. All I do is like post like advertisements for this channel, like random thoughts and stuff. You think she needs Instagram? She's with me all the time. She's with me all the time. Okay. I mean, like, this is an adolescent. This is like my, I mean, my kids are too smart for it, but I've heard of stories of teenagers being like, oh my God, I just got unfriended by Bobby. What's going to happen? Like, these are adult questions. So he never has to say, I never laid a hand on her, because that's not what the argument's about. By not feeding into that, Kendrick is understanding what you have to do. If you want,
I just had this debate yesterday with Holla that I literally said this before I seen this video. I said this yesterday. I said, I don't think that Kendrick even answering some of Drake's angles would be smart. Oh, let me tell you why I moved to New York or got an apartment in New York. Oh, let me tell you if I've really been out of touch with my fiance for the last 6 months. Let me tell you about if I really hit her or not, whether he already addressed that on the Breakfast Club as well as Mr. Morale. I, I think that it was smart for Kendrick not to. Doesn't make anything of his wrongs or not being a perfect human being be a strike against him or not. That's not what I'm saying, right? But one thing that we also are seeing in Heart of the Six, everybody's saying Drake is on the defense. That's even a chess move within itself. Kendrick keeping the light on Drake. I don't give a fuck about what you're talking about. And then you a friggy ass boy, you a friggy ass boy. Wop, run for your life. Keeping the spotlight on him, staying on offense. I just had this debate yesterday. Holla, call me, man. We gotta do this every day. Every day, and you losing the argument, Holla. Like, yo, let's keep up with some of this shit.
Want to win one of these debates, you can't just be defending. You have to keep attacking.
Yeah.
And then you don't bring it up as a concept. And what this does, I'll put you up there, Kung Fu. The other thing that this does is, or that abusers do, that narcissistic abusers do, is they do what's called a flip, the narcissist flip. So he is flipping around his own flip. So there was an attack on Drake, and then what Drake is doing is trying to change the topic, trying to change the subject, trying to make it whether or not he hit the mother of his children at some point in the past 10 years. And he flips that around on Kendrick, saying, you'd rather grab your pen and misdirect it. Like he's actually flipping on a flip. He even tries to flip it around, trying to make it seem like Kendrick is the one who has problems with histories of molestation and SA, right? He's trying to flip it around because of Mother Eye, which we're getting to soon.
Okay, what's your point?
Just flopping all over the place.
What's your point?
So much stuff, saying he's too rich to be. He's too rich. He simultaneously refers to it as this Epstein shit and says, I'm too rich to get away with this. He is literally talking about a person who was so rich he could get away with running an underage sex ring.
Who DM'd me that? Not an original thought. Give credit. Somebody DM me that or tweeted me that, saying R. Kelly got away with it. They didn't say that he was too famous, right? Who else got away with it? It's like, damn, like at one moment, it's like, yeah, Drake would have been in trouble in jail. He's too big to get away with that. But using the Epstein shit, Epstein literally was so rich and powerful and he was getting away with it. Diddy, right? They're not talking about, they're pulling up shit from Diddy from fucking 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, right? That means all this time he was getting away with it. The internet is a beast. I'm just saying that some of these points is.
And in the same verse, saying, I'm too rich to be able to get away with this.
Look at Charles. You see, this is what the internet does. Look at what the internet does. They say Bill Cosby. They say Karl Malone. That's a forgotten one. Look at that. Look at that. I wasn't even thinking about the ones like that. And this is what starts to, like, when the internet does what the internet does, that's what starts to hurt Drake's songs and Drake's responses and his rebuttals and his lines a lot. Damn.
That's what makes me think this stuff is all true. It's not based on evidence. It's based on this style of argument where he's just denying and throwing these things out there, and you have to believe.
Holla. Today, 5 days in a row. Let's do it. Let's do it. Did I not just say that? It's not based, this battle, aka argument, is not based on the evidence. It's based on the style of presentation, aka a rap battle. Watch all these motherfuckers lie, stretch, fabricate, or tell me things that I can't prove or I don't have evidence to. Yet we deem winners regardless. It's not about that. The style of argument, the style of presentation, the chess moves, the rollout, the cover art, the choosing what to deny and what to respond to, the choosing what to be quiet to, what to ignore versus how to stay on offense and when to get defensive. And
if two things are true at the same time, you have to believe that Epstein could get away with it because he was so rich, and Drake can't get away with it because he's so rich.
Right?
All of it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It doesn't read. It doesn't read. And everyone's like making fun of Drake, saying his co-writers and his teams are writing this. I don't think so. I think he's writing this, but I don't think he knows how to do it. And just in terms of protesting too much, you see back here, I made what I call the no sex offender list. This is the quote. Drake, when you are guilty or not guilty, when you're trying to prove your innocence, stay away from double negatives. It's too confusing. It's too easy to misinterpret. Drake is not a name that you're going to see on no sex offender list. So if we take that down, this is the no sex offender list. I wrote it up there. Does Drake's name belong on that list? I refer you to the text again. Drake is not a name that you're going to see on no sex offender list, which therefore means I cannot write Drake up here because you're not going to see his name on the no sex offender list. Now, I'm not saying, ta-da, I got you. It's more the mental state that he's in where he's just sort of saying anything. Everything's all mixed up. I've never been with no one underage. I've never been with no one underage. Why so many double negatives? I'd never looked twice at no teenager. Why so many double negatives? But going back to the third reason that he's failed is that this song, more than any other song, is an advertisement for this. How many people have gone back and listened to the song Mother I Sober? How many people?
So many people are now sending me this and tweeting me this and DMing me this. This is the one where people are feeling like, yo, Drake, you made a mistake. And Kendrick's made some mistakes too, but this is the one right here that people's really kicking around a lot.
People who I bet gave up on this album because they thought it was too dense and they wanted to be more like Damn, which is understandable, but unfortunate because it's such a great album. It's understandable though. I don't make fun of anybody who did not dig this album. It's very hard, very dense. It doesn't mean you're small brained. It just means that you weren't up for this album at the time that it came out. That's totally okay. But you're missing out on some great music, some great culture, some great rhymes, all that stuff. And you're missing out on the song Mother, I sober. Now I've been talking about Father Time because that's the one that relates to me the most because my dad recently died and because I'm a father and all that stuff. But holy cow, he directly references Mother, I sober. So you have to go back and listen to this. Now the weird messed up thing is he takes this fake position of empathy. Okay, so first of all, he misreads the text. He reads the text. This is why it's very important. Critical thinking skills are very important. This is why it's the most important thing you can learn in college is critical thinking, reading comprehension. I'm not trying to be patronizing. I'm just trying to be honest. I'm trying to be clear.
Okay.
It is the fact that one could listen to or read the lyrics to the song Mother, I Sober and conclude that Kendrick himself was sexually abused is completely against the sense of the text. The text itself is about generational trauma and about the fact that his mother assumed that he must have been abused because of the abuse that she suffered herself. It's about the presumption of it, not about the fact of it. Never lied, but no one believed me when I said he didn't. He's talking about shivering. He's talking in this frail, broken voice. He's talking about not being believed because the cycle of abuse going back, generation after generation after generation. He explains how many people were abused and taken advantage of and mistreated and R-worded all over the place. And what does he say about it? He wasn't touched, but he was still affected.
He did.
Because he was constantly chasing manhood.
He did.
But Whitney's gone by the time you hear this song. She did all she could.
That's true, man. I listened to the song too. I'm not biased. I don't have a horse in the race. How many times I gotta say I'm more of a Drake music fan than I am a Kendrick fan? Fans of both of them. I got Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City vinyl album hung up in my gym. Y'all might have even seen it on my Instagram before. I don't even know if I have a Drake album vinyl hung up in my gym. I probably don't. I got that album hung up in my gym. I'm a bigger Drake fan than a Kendrick fan, though. I'm just remaining objective, remaining honest, and refuse to lie to myself. Can I be swayed? Yes. Is some of this stuff disproven? Yes. Do I lack evidence in certain areas? Yes. Can I change an opinion later on if I catch different revelations? Yes. I'm welcome to that. We all are. But I ain't gonna fucking lie to myself. I heard this song too. So it's killing Drake's song. It's killing Drake's angle. It's just true. Like, it's one thing to say who you feel is winning or losing, but it's another thing to just flat out lie to yourself and say, like, oh, no, this is Kendrick did say this shit on that song.
Drake, you sent us back to this song. And in this song, Kendrick Lamar told us that Whitney left him. And now we're supposed to sit there and listen to your track where you say, how come you haven't talked to Whitney in 6 months? It's like we know why. We know.
Nigga said, Drake, you sent the fans back to that song, whether they knew that song already or not, or replayed it and rehash it. And then you make us ask the question that we already have the answer to from the person that you're trying to expose. No, my bad. When it comes to that attempt by Drake, I'm just being honest. No?
Why? Because their relationship couldn't survive the results of the trauma that he suffered. And it wasn't SA, it was other stuff. And it's such a beautiful song. And it's so powerful. And it's so meaningful. And it's something that Kendrick can bring us. And it's a reminder, Drake, that you can't. You just lack the self-awareness. And dude, that's all right. I love, the Stooges, like proto-punk from the 60s, Is Iggy Pop in 1969 capable of writing a song called Mother I Sober? No, not all music has to be all things all the time. But this is a very special thing. And you are attacking a man who is capable of doing something uniquely well in the art that you yourself practice. And in your effort to try to take his, okay, so it was already his approach. He was already taking sympathy. He was already saying, I feel bad for you because your father didn't claim you. Kendrick was already referring this to Mr. Morale. Now, Drake has done a double Mr. Morale. On the one hand, he's sending us back there. On the other hand, even if we don't go back and read the actual text, even if we take Drake's misreading of the text as being accurate, we are then understanding the cycles of abuse that is talked about in Mr. Morale. Everything goes back here. Everything goes back there. Everything. Because that's a great piece of art that describes cyclical trauma. And then we get the end bit. So those are my 3 reasons why it doesn't work. Strictly on the defense, he's exhibiting all of the traits of a gaslighter, and he's making advertisements for Mr. Morale.
Shout out to everybody that's in the live that wasn't here when we started. Before we cut that video on, we did a nice little talk for about 15-20 minutes. And one thing that I showed earlier, once again, because we got about 3,000 people in here, I showed that I did like some little brief homework on this Professor Sky guy. And once again, shout out to him. Credits of his link in the description. Go check his channel out. I went to his Instagram just to see if I would come across a vibe that he was a biased person. And what I found on his Instagram from like April 20th, and I showed it on the screen and everything, was a picture that a comical picture of him. He posted Drake as Batman uppercutting Kendrick Lamar, basically signifying like a knockout, and saying like Drake, against like all these different people, 20v1. This was when it was the world had Drake, and Drake was winning, and everybody was looking at Kendrick. And you look at people from the West Coast, podcasters like AD, who broke his monitor, threw his monitor on the floor. Like, Kendrick, come on, like, what are we doing? And then Drake started to bully Kendrick even further as Snoop and as Pac, saying, yo, what's up, man? You basically right now teaching everybody how to take a L. This is where he was talking as Pac in Snoop's voice, bullying him, begging him, why are you not in the studio right now? Everybody had Kendrick in shambles, including this guy, the Professor Sky, on his Instagram post from April 20th, when he posted Drake knocking Kendrick out. Seeing that post from April 20th makes him be credible with his opinion and shows somebody like me he's not biased and he's not some Kendrick fan. He's just a guy with an opinion. He's just a guy who's willing to continue to interpret and receive information, process it, and then put out his own opinion, not from a bias or I need to take Kendrick's side or I need to ride for Drake. I'm just taking what I'm seeing, I'm calibrating all of it, and this is how I feel. Let's sit with this live for a second. I want to do a playing of every track. I want to do an aftermath live. I got a couple lives still about this because it's the biggest battle in rap battle history. Rewind this joint to the beginning because there's a bunch of stuff that I don't want y'all to miss outside of that video. But we'll be back soon, y'all. It's definitely sorry it's true, and we're gonna keep the checks and balances.